Hi everybody. So in this lesson we're going to learn about math in Java. Now the nice thing is that it's pretty much the same in all languages. The math is very similar, so learning it here will be transferable to any other language, say JavaScript, which we will be learning in other tutorials. So what you learn here is going to be very relevant. So let's see. Um, First thing is we've got a couple of these are all standard across all languages. I really haven't seen a much difference other than the way that the syntax is and how you declare variables. So we already know about our variables, and so now we're just doing simple math. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 minus 3 equals 2. And that's pretty much how it works. So I'm just going to run through these. I'm going to take our Hello World program, and we're just going to run through a few of these, and then we're going to do some exercises down at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and open up um, Visual Studio Code. And we've got our Hello World program, so let's use that again. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything out of here. And the first examples were integer I, and I type I because it's shorter. Usually you want to do more descriptive names, like in the writing there it says sum. So let's see, just pick any numbers you want. You can just experiment and see what happens here. So 3 plus 3, and then let's system out that. And what's I? Alright, so then we'll just go ahead and run this. And we end up with 6, and so that works good. Let's change some numbers around. Let's make 34 plus 32. Alright, 66. So you see how that works. Let's go back and see what's next in there. We do subtraction. Alright, let's subtract it then. I'm wondering if run automatically saves. So let's do that on the next one. So let's do 5 times 3, which is what that one has. I'm just going to run and see if it saves it automatically. It does, so I don't have to hit the save button all the time. Alright, so that was so this is all pretty standard stuff. Okay, division is the forward slash. So let's do 15 divided by 3. Okay, so that's how that works. Remainder. Some of you might not know modulo or modulus. So that'll give you the remainder of a number. So 17 divided by 3, what's the remainder? So let's do 17 divided by 3, and we'll run that. And the remainder is 2, and that's right. Okay, so operator precedence. Now this is going to be something that we're going to learn something new in. So here's 2 plus 3 times 4 equals 14 and not 20, because it's going to do the 3 times 4 even though the 2 comes first, and then it's going to add it to it. So let's go. I'm just going to copy and paste this one. Okay, so the answer, I'm going to change that to an I just because I don't feel like typing everything. Alright, so if we run this one, it is 14. Now in the description here it says we can change that by grouping operations first, so parentheses. So it says here parentheses come, so these are the forms of parentheses, so square brackets and parentheses, and access to a member come before multiplication, whereas right now multiplication in this example comes before addition and subtraction. So it's going to do these first before it does that. So we want to change that order. So let's go ahead and put parentheses around these to get this to evaluate first and then that. Okay, so let's do that. So let's put parentheses around the 2 and the 3. And then when we run this, we get 20, which changed the answer. So that's good. Alright, and same thing, the modulo operator is right here. So we can, let's go ahead and just copy this portion. And the answer is 4, but I want to have the add operation come first. So then I'll just put parentheses around it. So that's how you change the order of the way you want things processed. Because I say I want this to be 5, not 3. So I want to go ahead and make that come first. So run this. And now it changed the answer. All right, that's great. Okay, so now there's some other operations. The math class provides a lot of math, and there's a document link here where you can see all the different functions there are. So, for example, there's absolute value, square root, maximum of two numbers, and then raise something to the power of. So let's just do a couple of these. We'll just do the ones that are here. So let's go ahead and say I want the absolute value of minus 89. And that should print out 89 instead of minus 89. Yep. Okay, and what's the other example? Square root. Square root. Let's try the square root of 89. I wonder what that is. That's probably going to give me a decimal number, so that's probably not. I mean, it's okay. It is math, but that's just harder to comprehend. Oh, mismatch. Can't convert double to an integer because it ends up being a decimal value. So I'd have to change this to a double. And I get a funky number, but I think 189 is square rootable. Let's see, with the whole numbers. Nope. 289 is. I know it was one of these. I think it's 289. Yep, 289 is 17. So now I could change this back to an integer. Or not. Oh, square root only returns a double. I see. So say I wanted to make this an integer. Can I do that? By casting it. So this is a cast operator. So I'm putting parentheses around this, and it's going to try and change this into an integer. I don't know if this will work, but let's try it. I'm just experimenting. It did. So it gave me just the integer portion. So if I wanted to force it to be an integer, I can cast it. It'll tell me if it couldn't. But that works. So let's do one that is a decimal and see what happens with when we cast it. It should truncate it, which it did, because remember it was 13 point something, and so now it truncated to just the integer portion of the answer. So we learned a little something there. And then let's go ahead and do some exercises so we can apply the math. Okay, so we want to calculate the area of a triangle. And the area of a triangle is base 1/2 base times height. And let's see, a triangle with a base of 10, let's say, and a height of 15. So what you want to do now is pause your video, and then I'm going to do some of these. We've got a couple of them. One's to calculate a triangle. Another's a little bit more complicated. Calculate a future value with interest. And then another one is, say you're going to go ahead and pay in something into some investment account, and you're earning 8% interest. So let's go ahead, and this is much more complicated, but we'll see how things group by doing something difficult. So pause your video and then come back and you'll see us do it together. Okay, so you're back, and here we go. Let's do the triangle one. So you have to try and set these things up, and I haven't done these before. I just wrote them out. So 1/2 base times height. So let's do b divided by 2. That'll give us the base times the height. And that'll give us an answer. Let's make it a decimal answer because there could be decimal numbers. So we don't have a b. So here's where we're going to change things up. So we're going to say b. Let's go ahead and spell it out, so that way it's more clear. This is what you're going to do when you're programming. You're going to make these more clear. So it said the base was 10, and it said the height was 15. Yes. All right, so now let's see what our answer is. Let's print out area. And let's run this. 75. So 1/2 the base is 5 times 15 is 75. That is correct. Okay, so did you see how we did that? We set it up by putting in what the formula is, and then we backtracked a little bit, made it more readable, added the answer, and then put these over here. So this could actually be turned into a function by, let's see, does this do that? see if we can refactor it and extract method. So now we've got a method, and it's going to ask for a name. So let's do area of triangle. So now we've got a function, so now we could just change the numbers, and actually we don't even need these variables anymore. We could just pass it in like this. And if we run that, we should still get 75. And we could change some things around. Let's do something that we can actually divide, though. All right, so if the base is now 20, that would the answer should now be 150. Yep. Okay, so that works. So that's the area of a triangle. Next one, this is much more complicated. Let's just set it up the way it says it. All right, so we're going to do this. So this is the tricky part, and this is the part that you need to learn is I've done this before a long time ago, and so I don't remember what I did before, so I just do it straight. What does it say to do? So we're going to do PV, and then it says, and that's going to times something in parentheses. So times in Java is like this, and other programs as well. And we're going to take 1 plus I, and then we're going to raise that to the n. All right, there was a math.pow up above here. So we're going to do math.pow, and it said take that and to the n. So then let's put n in here, because the way that math.pow works is it does the number you want to raise to the power you want to raise it to. Here's the number we want to raise, and the number we want to raise it to. Okay, and then is that done? Okay, and that should give us FV. Let's make that a double. And you see how I'm backtracking in. So now I think I've gotten this written out. And I'm going to do, let's do doubles. So let's say we have $10,000, because I think that's what it said. It said take 10,000. And then we're going to take another double. And we're going to say it's I, and it's going to equal to 0.08, because it said 8%, right? And then n. So n is probably okay to be an integer, 20 years. So you see how this is setting up. I haven't done this before, so I'm just backtracking. I went ahead and put it in, and then I'm backtracking out the variables to fill this in, and then let's see what we get. And I know this is generally correct, because I did have done this before. That's 46. So we could do this with Google and see if we got the right answer. Let's do future value. Let's see if any of these work fine. Okay, so this one's close. So we didn't do anything with that. We don't have that payment in, and then this was 20 years. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, we got the right answer. Okay, and we'll use this one for the next one. Okay, that's cool. That worked. Okay, and the next one is slightly more complicated. So let's do this. We've got, oh, again, if you want to change this into a function, you just highlight it, and then right-click on the highlighted part, refactor, extract method, and let's just call this FV for short. You want to spell it out. All right, and then you could just make it so you plug in values. And then you don't need these anymore. Now you've pretty much made a calculator function. And it got the right answer again. Okay, so now let's do the next one. This one is, we can keep the future value there. Okay, it's PMT, and it said times something in parentheses. And I got this formula from the internet. And then times something else. So then this one's going to be times something in parentheses again. And then on the top, this was a fraction. So on the top, it's going to be something in parentheses. And you notice I'm just typing what it says. I'm not doing anything else different. Okay, now this one's trickier because there's a power again. So we're going to do that around the parentheses. So we've got math.pow. And we've got this function, and then we've got an n that we want to raise it to. Okay, and then outside of that, got -1, it said? Yes. And that whole thing is going to be divided by I. All right, so knowing how the operators work that we learned, this is going to happen first unless we do something. So let's go ahead and put parentheses around this. All right, so now that's going to give us that value. So let's try this. We have to backtrack out the variables now. We don't want this one anymore. You use doubles when in doubt. That way you get the decimal answers. Okay, and I believe this had $500. And what's the next variable? I. And that is 8%. So a percentage is expressed like this. And then n was 20 again. And that's a fixed number. We're not doing decimals right now. So n equals 20. All right, I think that's everything. Let's try that. And we've got 24,711. Let's see, using this thing. All right, so we didn't have a starting amount in there. And we had 500 here. Oh, it needs to be something. Okay, 0. 22. What do we get? 24. Something is different here. All right, what's our formula look like? We're close, but something's just not right. So maybe this has to calculate first. Let's try that. Although it looks like it should, because going left to right, and these are all multiplication operations. All right, that didn't change the answer. So I'm wondering if something is wrong with the way we type this out. And so you can look where the parentheses are and see if that helps anything. So that's a math power thing, so that's fine. And you notice how I'm moving the cursor to the parentheses and it's showing the other side. Okay, that's weird because I think this should actually be right. Could their calculator be off? I doubt it. Oh, okay, they're giving us some numbers here. Oh, why is it saying this? That shouldn't be there. Oh, wait, is it? Total interest. Okay, I don't know why it's doing this. Let's try this. Ah, beginning. That's what's different. So this calculator is doing payments made at the beginning instead of the end. So we pick beginning, and now we have the right answer. Okay, so we did type it in right. That's good to know. Okay, so that's how you do it. You backtrack, and then you can turn this into a function by highlighting it, refactor, and extract method. And let's see, future value of payment. let's say investment, because what's more accurate. Okay, and we'll take the values and put them here. Oh, did something wrong. Oh, wow. Okay, and there. Okay, and we'll run that. All right, and there's our answer. So that's how you do it. So you've got the basics for creating a formula with the building blocks, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the math class as well. And then putting it together is the process that you just saw. You have to type it out and then backtrack. So that's how that works. Also provided in the lesson plan is a link to the math class. And here you go ahead and get familiar with it. And you see all the different functions it has for all the different math things. So it's got trigonometry, it's got finance, it's got all kinds of different things in here. So go ahead and take a look at that. And that's math. And it works the same almost in every language. JavaScript is very similar. It has a math class as well. And the order of operations is the same. So this will transfer directly over to that. And thanks for watching.